Foxfires, welcome in. How are you doing? Welcome. Oh, I guess I'm a little bit early. The ad is still going. We're just gonna give hellos anyways. Hello Wolves, hello GG, hello Rocks, hello Marina, hello Neve, hello Puffin, hello GG. Yep, sorry about the title. Hello Lunar, thank you. I did hydrate. Thank you very much. I drank some of my green tea. And welcome Sefim, hello Warp, hello Blaze, and Oz, welcome in. I got everybody, I hope. Hello.
YouTube
How's
Music
everybody
is
doing?
a music app made by YouTube, and you can use Google Assistant to play your songs.
I got an ad.
Like, hey Google, play sexy mood music.
What is this ad?
Yeah.
I've never had an ad
The
on
YouTube
my
Music
session stuff before. Weird. Thanks, YouTube. That was off-putting. What? But yeah, welcome in. We're gonna be doing some art today. We're gonna continue on art class. And yeah, so last week we'll start again with a review from what we did last week, and then we'll go into maybe doing, if anybody wants any critiques and stuff of their work again. I am free to do that if there's people that want that. And then after that, we'll go into our actual lesson for today, which is going to be on noses and ears. If we have enough time, we could possibly look at mouths too. Oh, sorry, music's loud, thank you. I just didn't lower it quite enough. Is that better? Yeah, we're gonna look into mouths if we have time. So mouth is a very tricky one, I guess. There is a lot to cover in mouths. Ears are tricky too, but they're not as like a, well, maybe it's just because I've already done like a lesson on ears, so I don't find them as difficult. But I know for beginners, ears are also pretty hard too. But we'll look. Maybe we'll get to mouths. Maybe we'll leave it for next time. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. See what I did there? See what I did there? Yeah, and that'll be basically hopefully our stream for today. And also, very proud of myself, I am almost finished my Melly cosplay. Off topic from art studies a little bit, but I am almost finished my Melly cosplay. So we might actually not have work to do on Thursday, or we'll work on the dragonflies. I'm not sure yet, but Zen, welcome in. How are you doing? Welcome. We're doing mouse practice. Any word on the mouse? I did make a claim for the mouse. But yeah, welcome in. We're doing art stuff today. Zen is also a very beautiful artist. They do amazing stuff. Become Billy. I'm so close to becoming Billy. Melly is so close. Like I said, I just gotta finish dragonflies. I got to attach the hat to the hood. I got to, I don't know, I guess just attach all my bugs in general. Attach all the bugs to like the jacket and stuff. And then she's pretty much done. Like there's not much left. So I'm very happy. Melly, hey! I like it. But yes, and then my mouse being broken, I'm using a different one today because I was trying to work in Blender and the mouse wheel wasn't working and it was driving me insane. So I got my other old broken mouse that has the left and right clicks broken on it, but at least the scroll wheel works. So it's been a struggle. I have 2 mouses plugged in at the moment. But yeah, I made my return claim, and they actually got back to me, but I was starting up stream, so I didn't get to read the email and stuff. But I think I have to basically pack it up in a box and ship it off now. So hopefully I'll get a replacement soon, TM, for that. Stellar Blade character is nice and all, but judging by the Lily hand stream, Lily is Tia. Thank you. Thank you. Oh wait, it was GG. Did I say that was Blaze? In my brain, because you both are mod and you're both red. For some reason, I read that in my brain as Blaze. I don't know if I said it out loud. It was GG that made the Melly comment. Thank you, GG. How do you make the mask one time? You said maybe doing a skeleton structure. So what I ended up doing, I can kind of sketch what I did. Just as we start filing in at the beginning of stream here. Kind of sketch what I did. For Melly's hood, this is how I made the Melly's hood. So I bought a sun hat like this, right? So there's a sun hat. You know, normally they have like a ribbon around them and a bow. Bought a hat. Then I used boning. So boning is used in fabric, and it's like plastic rods like this that get like fabric wrapped around it and like stitched. And so it becomes like it's like tubes of plastic, I guess, kind of like this. And it just makes this strong, not like wire, I don't know how to describe it. It's used for like corsets, you know, like those corsets. It's used in the structure for those to keep them straight and not bendable. So I used boning, and I made tubes. And I made 2 tubes. And I kind of made out of the boning, right? So it kind of like looks like this. And it kind of looks like this, right? That's a bad drawing. So I made 2 tubes. Actually, I think I made 3 because I think I put one on the brim of the hat as well, just for extra stability. And then I got crinoline, which is also used. I basically made like kind of like a hoop skirt or like a crinoline. It's okay for non-artists to be here today. Of course, Nano, of course. I'm just explaining how I made my Melly hood. So then I used crinoline, which is like kind of like a see-through-y fabric. It's got like a bunch of holes and stuff like that, or like a mesh or a netting kind of thing. And I made rectangles that then connect this together, right? And I made sure that like my head is going to be here. The LiLi. LiLi. My head. My neck, I guess. Maybe it's a little bit small, but you get the idea. So I made sure like my vision is between these nettings, right? So that I can see. And then I made just a little chibli inside. Then I used upholstery foam and stuff like that. And I built this up a little bit on top of the hat. So I used like kind of foam on top of this to make it a little bit bigger. So this is like foam now around the top of the hat. And then this was the main structure, right? So the reason why I did it this way is so that this part can collapse, right? So these are just hoops that are hanging down over like the lower part of my face. So this can come up and kind of shrink down at least to like this size a little bit, like blub, you know? And then this is still kind of the top area. Does that kind of make sense? So like it can shrink up like an accordion? Yeah, like an accordion. That's a good way of thinking of it. Because I need to get it into a suitcase, right? I gotta fly with this costume, so I had to try to compress everything as small as possible. Why do I keep getting ads now? I don't know what to do about this. But yeah, so then that was like basically the structure for it. And then what I did was I made then a part that kind of goes like over top of it, like a bag that kind of like goes over top of it. That is the actual Melly hood, right? Or maybe I'll do it in like a different color. So it works like this. So then I made, you know, she's got kind of her ear bumpies. And then it comes in kind of like this, I guess. You know? And then this part comes out like this. I'm very tiny inside there, but you get the idea. So then I made like a hood over top of it, and then I have, Melly actually has her hat that sits on here. It's a very tiny hat, but you get the idea. And then there's basically like a window here with more mesh, right, over top of it. And that's how the hat works, right? So I'm basically wearing a hat on a hat. Pancake transformation. So that is how my Melly hood works. Actually, I can take a picture of it so you guys can see it. I finished it today, so here, I'll be right back and I'll show you guys a picture. Yeah, off-topic stuff, totally fine. Totally fine. Yeah, the only thing I got left is to put the hat on. Hold on, I'm gonna put them beside chicken for scale. The hood is quite large. Let me put this underneath. It ended up looking pretty good. I was very worried about it. Mama Pup said not to panic, LiLi. And I was panicking. There we go. Okay, I'll take a picture. of hard to show. It's a little hard to show, but hello, Mythico. Let me send it to myself on Discord, and then I'll bring it up on stream so you guys can see. Are you gonna enter a cosplay contest? Probably not, unless the others are wanting to do like the Mr. and Miss Odafest, but I don't know if you can do that in groups at all. But I don't think Melly's really like a award-winning costume, you know? Although I feel like she should, because dang, that hood caused me issues, and I did not think it would. I did not. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be easy, it'll be fine. And then I was crying. Crying a lot. All right, let's see. Server. Transfer. All right, ready to see? Bump, bump. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to select it. There we go. Ready? Wrong button. There we go. Ta-da! There's the Melly hood. So I finished it up today. It's still, like I said, it's still a little hard to see and take pictures of the angles and stuff like that, but she's all done. So like I said, the hat is the only thing that just needs to be attached onto it. And then, yeah, I've pretty much got the whole costume finished, and I've been stressing, but everything should be good. Came out great. Thank you. I'm really happy with it. It was hard to make the right shape, and I think I at least got a good compromise between working in real life and what the game is kind of idea, and how that game image would translate over to real life. Because yeah, it was hard. It was really hard, especially because it's like her head basically is very tall, like in comparison and stuff like that. So it was hard to deal with like real life proportions and finding that middle ground between everything and me being able to see out of it, and then added difficulty of having to fly with it too is also a struggle. But we got there. I did weather it, so I did a bunch of airbrushing and stuff like that too. Same with the jacket. I'm almost done the jacket. Oh right, that was one thing else I have to do. I have to do a couple more of the stitching lines on the jacket as well, but I'm pretty close to being done now, so I'm excited. Could almost fit chicken in it. It's with the hat, it's about the same size as chicken actually, because yeah, you can see that the table is like a little bit lower down below. But they're pretty much the same size. It looks amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I can't wait. I can't wait to actually wear everything together and see how it all turns out. It's funny because like when I put it on my head, I'm like, I can't see myself. So I'm like, I hope I look cool. It's one of those things I'm like, I have no idea how this looks all together because I'll never fully see it. I've had a couple of costumes like that because I've done like mask type costumes, and it's like anytime I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I don't know, do I look cool? I hope so. And then I'll like later see like pictures or like videos. It's mostly videos. If I see videos of myself afterwards, I'm like, oh wow, that looks really cool. And I'm like, I don't feel like I look that cool when I'm in it. So hopefully Melly will be the same thing. I think it'll be fun to get us all together too, so. But yeah, that's the Melly hood. Important question, should wear the mofu with the cosplay. Melly sprouts a foxtail. You do look cool now, Lise. Thank you. Coloso, thank you, Oz. I am cool. I don't know about that. Debatable. Debatable. But yeah, so that's kind of like how the hat works. It basically is a hat on a hat. But the sun hat, like the convenient part about it, like a lot of times I'll have costumes that are like with a big like something mask or something like that on top, and it's like hard to move around or look or something without it like moving or falling off or hurting your neck and stuff. It's actually like surprisingly really light on the head, and then also comfortable too because of the hat. The hat just like keeps everything in place on my head, so I was actually pretty shocked about that. But we do good things. We can agree on that. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, so that was basically your melee updates. We might not have stuff to finish on Thursday, or we might be painting some more bugs. Not sure yet, so it all depends on how I'm feeling tomorrow. I might push it off to doing stuff on Thursday, or if I'm feeling motivated to just like finish everything off, then we'll play like games or something. So I don't know what to do about these ads. What if I like reopen it or something? I don't know. I've never had the ads before on the playlist. You could open on this one. I don't know if this one has the ad block. We'll try this for a bit. uBlock Origin is what I used for using it for a browser. Well, I had it from a browser, and I have the block for when I'm streaming in one of my browsers, and then I have like a different profile browser, and I would always just play the sessions from the other browser. And then I never had ads before, but now suddenly I am having ads, so I'll try it from this browser again, because I think this one has the ad block for our music, so we'll see. Yeah, YouTube has been doing some stuff with the ads and whatnot, so maybe there's just been a change. I'm not sure. But should we get to our lesson? Learning time? Yeah, so this was the homework from last week. Basically we were doing eyes and stuff like that, so I did do some eye practice, a little eye warm-up over here on Saturday, and then I went ahead and I did the homework for that lesson. Hopefully if you are following in the course too, you got your homework done as well. And we made different shapes, eyes and stuff like that. So kind of what I did for this one, I kind of just like started following them with the base here. And then my next idea was I wanted to do like more of a very round, bubbly, maybe like different kind of thing. Yeah, this is the Coloso course. So I am following a course by Isham or Tusham on Coloso right now. So I'm following their guidance and stuff like that, their courses, tutorials, homework, and stuff like that. Highly suggest picking up the course. It is very, very good. Isham is a amazing teacher. They really have helped me grow a lot, and it's only been just over 2 weeks, I think we've been doing this for, or something. I think we started around like April 12th or something, so we're still in the early phases, but I feel like I've picked up a lot already. But yeah, so I wanted like a bubbly. I kind of, when I was coming up with these face ideas, I was kind of thinking of like trying to make a feeling or like an emotion or something in mind when I was like trying to come up with ideas, I guess, you know, of different shapes. So yeah, I tried to keep everything like very round, like making the eyelashes more round and stuff like that, and very large and bubbly. And that's also why I did like kind of the bubble brows as well. So that was that one. And I was like, okay, we'll make like the highlight really huge, because I know that can make things look more like cute and stuff like that. So I did that. And then I was like, okay, we did this. Maybe we'll go the opposite direction, and we'll try to go for like a more serious look and do things that are more like straight lined and slim and narrow. So that's why I did this one too. And I was kind of thinking like, I was trying to make it look more masculine as well. while I was doing it, because I feel like I kept drawing a lot of female eyes and stuff like that. So I was like, maybe we'll try to go more masculine. So that was this one. And then I was like, okay, let's try the really small pupil and iris thing. And it was like, to me, I was kind of like thinking it was more like a scared or stressed kind of feeling. So that was this one. And then I was like, okay, let's try to do like the cat eye thing. So I was thinking for trying to do like more cat-like, I was like, let's do like really thin pupils and more long and stretched out and pointed and stuff like that is kind of what I was thinking. So we got that one. And then, I was like, let's do like a tired or like more calming kind of face. And I was like, for tired, I was like, oh, it could be like more of like a droopy eye, I guess, or like a downturned eye to me. It's kind of more like a tired. So I did more of the original shape, you know, if we remember. Like I did it so that it was like more downturned. So like this angle was down instead of like up or flat. I did it more shaped down. And then this guy, I was like, let's try to do more of like a diamond shape for an eye. And I was like, oh, like to me, like the eyes being up in this shape, I was like, oh, maybe like more of a excited, I guess, feeling. So I tried to make like a smaller pupil and stuff like that for this one. And I kind of kept with the still like triangle, more diamond shaped eyebrows. And then this one I was like trying for more like a delicate or more realistic, I guess, is kind of like what it turned out to be. But I was like, what just happens if we use like, instead of like a darker, harsher upper lid, like what if we did more thin eyelids? And it definitely gave it like a more delicate look to me. So yeah, those were my eye practices. Is it just me, or is top right Subaru from ReZero? Guess that makes sense. The man's perma stressed. Oh no. I actually really like it. There's a lot of artists that will do this like small pupil design, and I do find it really, really almost like captivating to look at. It's very interesting. I find these characters in anime stand out quite a bit. And a hydrate, thank you, Neve. I got my green tea again, bubble tea. Green tea, matcha latte with boba. Delicious. But yeah, so this was my homework. And what we did last week. So, let's start up a new folder for today. It is the 30th, 24, 04, 30. Throw that in. Yeah, so we'll kind of go through, try to do some eyes here, just some quick practice. So again, I think this one will be pretty quick. I don't find the eye lessons to be too difficult for me personally. So hopefully it won't be too long. And then we'll move our way into what is it called? Noses and ears. I was like, what's today's lesson called? Noses and ears. pupil. Highlight. Oh yes, today I also downloaded Firefox, so we'll see if the browser change makes any difference at all to using Coloso and seeing if it's less laggy or not. Keeps like disconnecting me for whatever reason. Firefox! Ooh, something to relax to after chasing tornadoes. I'm glad you're still safe, Neve. It's still terrifying to me. Also, hello, Limbus. Welcome in. Are you drawing on a tablet? I am, because it looked like you had a mouse cursor. Nope, no mouse. Using a tablet. So I also have a pen display. It is a Wacom Cintiq Pro 24-inch is what I own and use. I'm getting more and more used to my hotkeys as well, which is nice. Slowly working that into the workflow. I have my own browser, my very own. I'm a bad fox. I normally use Google Chrome, so I apologize. Foxfire or Firefox. You were not the browser I typically use. Making the bottom of my lashes thicker in comparison. We're gonna erase some of the guide. Egg yolk. Ta-da! That is not very thematic of you. I apologize. I installed Firefox because NordVPN suddenly told me that it was a threat for easy access to my system. My thought was, wow, really? Shocks me. Nord is high. Uh-oh. That must be for like 90 companies, and I install Firefox on all their machines instead of Chrome by default. I always hear lots of people say that it's easier on your PC, right? Not as system heavy. Projecting a bit. Let's see. Much lighter on resources. That way when a ticket eventually gets escalated to T3, I have to help them. I don't have to go download it because I don't know Chrome at all. That's funny. Valid. I say valid. You do let me know choice, but to use Firefox, site was giving me trouble on all other browsers. Ah. Dude, what is that? I got an email. Yeah, resource hog. That's what it was. I need to label my buttons on my tablet so I remember what does what. I did the exact same thing, Blaze. I did that with my EK remote. Yeah, that's what they call it, EK remote. Even though I don't use it now. Now I have my sim tweak and I just use everything on the keyboard now. Hello, Ham. Welcome in. I've run through heads with eyes in my practice. I mean, you can practice in any way you want. So I was just like, oh, we'll just do one. Turn to the side for some practice. No, don't worry, Nano. You're fine. Wasn't planning doing a couple attempts. I'll just do them in an extra free time I have through the week. Yeah, for sure. For sure. We are like later on too, Blaze. There's definitely a lesson where we're gonna be taking like everything that we've learned too and then applying it to the heads in general overall too. So don't worry. But getting that extra practice in now is not gonna hurt it, so. Don't feel like you're falling behind or anything like that. Oh, I forgot to, color in the eyes. Okay. And then let's do one that's like looking to the side or something. Fish is not up. Thank you. I forgot. Thank you for the reminder. It'll pop up here in a second. Up and to the right. Did the fish pop up? Yes, it did. Oh. Fish for you too, Blaze. Sword! That's one of the more rare, common ones, actually. Ta-da! All right. Cool. Well, I think that'll be good for me. I don't know, I just personally don't find the eye structure. I didn't think it was too hard of a lesson for me. So I'll probably leave my practice at that. I think that was everybody. Everybody got caught up. Who throws a sword in a river? There's actually two, because there's a demon general sword too. Yeah, critique time. You got some for yourself, Blaze? I know you're always usually interested in it, so. Homework, A. Perfect. Did you get the other homework done with the different eye shapes? Did you try that out? Blaze's homework. Posted today's work. Nice. Nice work, nice work. You got a clownfish, Oz? I love clownfish, they're so cute. Not enough time, I'll do that though. No worries. Not enough time, that is completely understandable, so. Awesome, okay. I like that you did lots of closed practice. I like to see that. I feel like I probably should have done more closed practice than I did. Yeah, I would say for like the closed lines, you're doing really good for that, like starting shape, you know? I would say you did the guide, so don't forget, like, it's good to like I would say try making like your guide on a different layer, like, and you can even make it a different like color, like this. Here, let me show you with the, I don't think I'll be able to fit it in. Maybe if I slide it over enough, you'll be able to see. There we go. I would say try doing this more, working with layers. So when it comes to homework, I'm lazy. Make a new layer, and even you could do it in like a different color or whatever. And then make this starting shape. These starting shapes are really good. Make the starting shape like you do, and on a separate layer, and then create another layer on top of that. And then what you can do is drop the opacity of the guide layer. So this is the guide, right? And this is your top one, right? Take the guide layer and then drop the opacity just a little bit so it's more see-through, right? So that you can kind of like barely see it. And then draw on top of that. So then take your black pen or whatever, and then draw on top of that and do your outlines and stuff. So this could kind of go for all of them, but I'll do the the closed eye first. So then I can kind of like make my rough guide, right? Where it's like, okay, that's where the eye's gonna be closed. And then go over top of that with like your good layer. So now I've got my dark pen, right? And I'm going to still draw that upper lid. I would say you can make, typically this upper lid always has like a ton more like weight to it. So don't be afraid. I know you've got them more on these ones, but don't be afraid to really darken that like upper lid, right? And then we have like the piece still exists, like that bottom corner, it still exists here, but it's just gonna wrap down like this kind of, right? Just like that. And then you have your top lid drawn. I would say break the corners here and here and don't have them touch. So you're just gonna have something like that, just to like show it's there. Anime is a lot about like removing all details and stuff like that. So we don't want to show like the whole crease of the eye. So it's just that it's implied. And that's kind of where the guide underneath is really helpful, because it can show us where that shape is, and then we can just kind of fill in lightly details around it that doesn't show the whole information. And then the same for the bottom. Yeah, you kind of let the viewer fill it in, exactly. And then yeah, we'll still have the same darker lid. And then you're nailing the irises really good. Doing a great job on the irises. The shapes are like perfect. And then yeah, keep the highlight. So that will give a little bit more, kind of hiding that detail and stuff. Give it a little bit more interest and not make it as kind of harsh. And not as harsh. So then you can like kind of like remove the guide, right? And you're like, oh, it looks a little bit more like lighter and not as heavy when you kind of like break these lines up a little bit, right? So if you have this like erased, see how much lighter that looks already? And it's just about like kind of implying that those lines are there, right? Hello, Paprika. How's the study session going? We're doing good. We're just in a review right now, so I'm helping Blaze right now with their homework. And also, Cube, thank you. Chance, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Cube. And Cube, welcome to the Demon Army, of course. Chicken's floating. Distracted. That's what I do best. Boop, there he goes. Yeah, so I'd say the guide thing will help you get the solid foundation and where you want to be with it. And then just kind of do your lines on top. Definitely don't be afraid to really darken that upper lid. I think your pupil shapes are doing really good. And, oh, also for your lashes, don't forget, when you do the lash, make it a bit thicker on the bottom. Like more like a triangle, you know? Or kind of these shapes. You want it a little bit thicker because like our eyelashes are thicker at the root than they are at the tip, right? So like with these guys, don't be afraid to like kind of make them a little longer too. Like that, you know? Oh, and I think for this one, your pupil could have been a bit darker, but I noticed you picked that up on these ones. Did better on the other ones here, so very good. I would say here. Go as an example for you. Oh, and the highlight. But you got all the parts in the right order, which is good. I would say yeah, I mean you're doing solid already. I would say these, again, are good for a beginner guide. So again, you got a good guide shape in here. Like the kind of trapezoidal shape, right? With your points, right? That you've drawn out here. But when you go to actually draw on top of that guide, another good tip I'd say is don't forget to like kind of ease out and round out the shape a little bit. So your lines are a little stiff. So when you go to draw, don't be afraid to like kind of round out, right? And really work on that almond shape. And then typically the back side is a little heavier, right, than the front side. And then we add in that little triangle for the lash at the end, a little lash spike, and then a little triangle down for the other one. And then at the bottom of the lid, we add in that. So you got a good base starting shape, but remember to go from like one point all the way over to the end, you know? And then don't be afraid to just round that out a little bit. You know, it'll make it a little bit more, a little less stiff, I would say. And then I'd say your pupil, your iris is a good size. I think it's a really good size. Don't forget to just like darken up those edges too. Make it come in a little bit. And then yeah, you're doing real good. You got the pupil. And then I'd say don't be afraid to make your highlight a little bit bigger on all these. I'd say the highlight could be bigger. And again, it's all up to what you kind of want to do too. But I'd say if you're going for more the traditional anime look, they tend to have really large highlights. Almost the size of the pupil kind of idea. So, yeah. Does that help at all? So I'd say try to focus on making a guide. So make a new layer for guide to start is a good one. And then rounder. Round out the shape. Round out the shape some more. Heavy upper lash. So heavier weight for the upper lash. And again, don't be afraid to practice those lines still. You wanna kind of keep practicing these different lines and like connecting the lines together. That will help kind of the stiffness in these lines that you have too. Because like when I draw like multiple lines, but they're like long lines, not like short lines, right? You want long lines. And don't be afraid, you can use Control-Z, right? If you draw a line, you're like, I don't like that line, didn't line up, Control-Z. I mash on the Control-Z a million times. So keep that in mind too. Heavy upper lash, and then I would just say larger highlight. Oh, and thicker lash. Thicker lashes. But you're doing good, Blaze. You're doing real good. Like I said, your iris and pupil sizes are nailed. I don't think you need to worry about those. I think you're doing fine. Doing A-okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I could say. Here, I'll again take a picture of this and submit it to you. Hold on. And then we'll move on to our other lesson. But Blaze, you've come a long way from drawing dot eyes now. Long, long way. Making good progress. That's what we like to see. There you go. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I should have done all my corrections in red. I'm sorry. That was my bad. I should have done all my corrections in red so you can see over your lines. That was bad of me. All right. But we've got our next lesson. No shrimp posture on my watch. Thank you. I'm going to fix my posture and hydrate. Delicious. All right. So, are we ready for our next lesson? I also did the transparency with the start of the eye, the parallelogram shape to do the curve lines, but not the rest of the eye. I don't know why I didn't keep doing it. It's good. It's good. That process is also just like a good process in general to keep in mind too, Blaze. Cause like whenever we draw as artists too, I'll do it on my worksheet. Whenever we draw like as an artist too, like in general, you'll like start with, you know, your rough sketch, you know, and then you'll end up like dropping that opacity layer. Sorry, hold on, make a new layer. Like you'll start with something super, super rough to start, you know, and then you'll end up dropping that opacity layer and you'll make a new one. And then you'll like start to, you know, make a stronger line and then, you know, add in some eyes. And then you'll like end up dropping that layer some more again, and then you'll make a new layer, and then you'll do your line art kind of thing. And then it just like starts becoming more and more detailed, you know? And that's just like how things progress. Like you just keep adding in more and more and more information as you go on, and it's like, okay, then you drop that layer again, and then like you could even like refine it even more, and so on and so forth. And that's just like how the art process generally is. Like you just like in digital art, that is, you just kind of keep making a layer on top of another layer on top of another layer, and then you eventually just like merge things down and stuff like that, you know? And then it's like, oh, now you have like this piece, right? And it's like, oh, okay, so now I can erase some of these and stuff. Or you can delete layers that you don't need anymore and stuff, right? And it just eventually becomes more and more rendered. And that's just kind of the workflow for digital art. So it's a good thing to practice. Oh, I did not mean to delete that whole thing. Yeah. So it's just a good workflow to get used to. So good workflow. Okay, so we've got our I think they just put everything on the same worksheet. Noses. Let's start her up. So hope that this won't crash on me as much. But yeah, so basically we're going over looking at like all of the body parts we have done so far. We are going to start looking at the actual names of the different pieces. So we have the band in the middle. The high part of your nose in the middle is called the nose ridge, or the bridge of your nose. Bridge is another name you'll hear it by, right? Bridge of your nose. It's like the part where your glasses rest on, right? That part. Then we'll have, obviously, the tip of the nose is the very, very top, the highest point of your nose. Then you'll have the nasal flaps, are those parts on the edge of the nostril. So your nostril is the actual physical hole of the nose. And then the nasal flaps, or nasal tips, nasal flaps is another name you'll hear for them, are just like the skin that makes up the nostril. And then again, from the side when we draw, again, you'll have that nose bridge. That's the highest point, and then the tip being the very, very top highest part in the drawing. That piece of skin kind of looks like a little bean, as the nasal flap, and then the nostril. So those are our different pieces. But then Isham goes in to explain that, you know, when we draw like a face, you know, in anime, we don't draw like every little piece of the nose, right? In anime, we tend to simplify the nose in anime, right? So I think the next one shows, yes, so they kind of go on to explain that the anime nose gets drawn a couple of different ways by different artists. So they explain that there's some people that will draw the nose ridge, so this part, the underneath, right? So you have the bridge, the nose tip gets outlined, but usually you don't connect those two lines. Some artists do, but some leave it out. And then you add in a nostril. So that'll give kind of like the rough idea of all the pieces of the nose. So you do still have like, you know, your flap and then like another nostril down here technically and stuff. But in anime, we simplify things so that it's easier and faster to draw. That was kind of like how kind of the stylization of anime kind of slowly devolved into a full nose being drawn all the way down to the dot, right? Is animators were dropping features to draw faster, essentially, right? For crunching and making animations and cells and drawing stuff, right? So it makes sense. So you're trying to convey the most amount of detail in the least number of steps in anime art often. So yeah, we have this style, which is just drawing the nose bridge and one nostril. And then some people will also just only draw the nose bridge. So they might just do a single long line. So that's, you know, expressing the shape that's here, right? Right, of the nose. And then, so that's like dropping it one thing simpler is like you're just dropping the nostril, right? So you can draw just a single line for that nose bridge. Or you can drop the nose bridge altogether and you can just draw the nostrils. So you can literally just draw two little dots on the end to kind of portray that little of the nose by just only doing the nostrils. Or you could take it a step even further to simplify it even more, and you can draw just the tip of the nose, which is probably the most common anime nose in general, which is just a singular dot to represent the very, very tip of the nose on the character, right? So yeah, those are kind of like the 3 different ones that she brings up. I know like there's some people like in anime also that will just show like, they'll draw like even no nose, and they'll just have like a highlight done as well too, like I've seen this. So again, like there's lots of different ways people can draw anime noses. So like if you were to draw the skin tone, like if you were just to have the skin tone, there's some people that like won't even draw the nose. They'll just draw like even like just the highlight of the nose too. I've seen that done a lot, where like they even just skip the line completely and they only show the lighting on the nose. So that's like another kind of option. What are some other noses I've seen? Or some people too will, instead of showing it with the highlighting like this, showing it with the highlighting, there's some people that will, if you aren't shading it too, they'll just like draw like a little mark of where that highlight would go if they were like drawing it too. So I've seen that option as well. They'll draw like a little mark or a little triangle too. So there's a lot of different ways people have simplified it down, but yeah, these are probably going to be your most common shapes, where you draw the bridge, the nose tip, nostril. You either draw just the bridge or just the tip of the nose. So there's like number 1 way to draw, 2 way to draw, or 3 way to draw. So, and then there you go. That's kind of noses. And then of course, we draw, that's like a face from the front. And then for the side, you can still do the same thing. So again, this is the nose bridge on the side. Where's my pink? So again, you're drawing the bridge, the tip, and the nostril. For this one, again, this one is just the bridge and the nose tip. And then we have just the tip of the nose and the nostril. And then just the tip of the nose for the different side views. So again, it's kind of still up to your preference of like what style, you know, that you kind of like the most as an artist. And you can also, like, in your own studies too, like go out and find, you know, artists that you really like their art of, and just take a look, like, how do they draw their noses? Like finding an artist and being like, oh, I like how this person draws their noses or their mouths or their eyes, is really, really valuable. And like just kind of like taking a look and admiring and finding out what it is they do to make those shapes and stuff like that is really, really useful. And again, that's where that kind of like blind method that we talked about I think that might have been last week or the week before, I don't remember. But that blind method is where that comes in handy, right? So you can practice only just drawing the nose of like whatever artist you like and stuff. And yeah. So what else was I gonna say? Oh, yes. It's also like, I guess, important to note for the nose when you're drawing the nose. It's good to make a note of the brow. So the nose, your nose naturally connects into your brow, right? So you'd have like the bone like in a skull, it connects, right, to your brow bone, and then these, where your eye sockets are, they're like sunken in, right? So it's good to keep in mind when you're turned to the side, often your bridge of your nose will connect in to that brow. And then also your eyebrow will typically be ahead of, like if you were to look at this, you know, straight down, like this, your eyebrow is gonna be in front of your eye a little bit. So keep that in mind as well. And that's just because of how this brow bone and your nose ends up getting shaped, right? Blind method is just closing your eyes and draw to see what your muscle memory is like. So blind method is you basically find, you know, your artists that you admire, the master, the master of art, and you take a piece of work by them. And what you'll do is you will first draw so this is the master, right? Master's work. And then you will draw your own version of it while looking at the reference, right? So this is your work, yourself. And you'll try your best to draw like senpai. Draw like senpai, stock him, got it, no! And you'll do your version, and then what you're gonna do is take this version and put it over top of their work. So you're gonna like overlay it like this, right? And then you're gonna see all the differences that you've made, right? And what they do is they make a separate copy, right? Make a separate copy. You copy that and you put it over top of the work. Zoom in a little better. Put it over top. And then what you'll do is on your copy, you'll then make the changes to your version based on what you've learned, essentially. So then you would like erase your lines and try to make them like match up better and stuff, and you make this one even prettier, you know, and even closer to their art. And then do that again while not tracing over top. So this is like tracing. So you then like kind of trace over their work and then do it again blindly and then draw it your own version. We kind of went over it last session. I think it was last session. And I do like an example of it. I don't know if I just can't remember if it was last week or the week before. But on the VODs, you can actually see me do it. So if you want to see it in practice, I did a version live on stream too. So it's very, very good for that. So feel free to check it out if you're interested. Check out those VODs. And then, yeah, you just kind of keep doing it over and over and over again, so. Learn Art playlist. Thank you, Gigi. You think it was the week before? Okay. Not last week, but the week before then. But yeah. So the dot nose is probably the most common type of anime nose, and it's definitely the most easy too. Yeah, all the VODs are always on YouTube, so it does make it a lot easier because you can go back and touch up and learn and stuff and see what we've kind of discussed in the past. But yeah. Oh, they also explained too that usually like this dot nose, you see it like used a lot. And another reason why it gets used a lot is usually like cute anime girls, you know, they're like small faces and small features and stuff, and you want them to look cute. So often the dot nose just ends up getting used because it's more slimming and fine and delicate and stuff like that, more cute. Yeah. So then I guess we go into ears next. Like I said, nose is pretty straightforward, but ears are a little bit more difficult. So, but ears are important. We can't really, unless I guess you're only gonna draw anime cat girls, which in that case you're gonna have to study cat ear anatomy, not human ear anatomy. But if you want to draw humanoids, ears are very important, and they are very, very tricky as well. I don't even know these terms, so I can't even correct them if there is a language error. Like, I know sometimes, like, with the more complicated, like, anatomy words, when they translate from English to, or Korean to English, some of them might be wrong and stuff, and I've been kind of correcting them here and there. I have no idea. I do know that this is, like, I'm pretty sure this is the helix. This is anti-helix. I think up here is the helix, right? So then I guess that makes sense if this is the anti-helix and this is the helix. Because I think when you get a piercing, this is a helix, right? I think? I don't know. I only know earlobe. Earlobe, easy. We're solid on earlobe. Yeah, so basically I'm just gonna, this seems sus. I don't know what a crus is. Maybe I'll look up a ear anatomy sheet. Maybe that'll help me. Okay, it's showing me the anatomy of the inner ear. I just want, like, oh, here, wait, here it is. Oh, it is. So, like, this, oh, helix is up here. Sorry, if you get a helix, it's up here, piercing. Okay, so this is the helix. Here. Helical crus. Ear crus. Look at that. I learned a new word. It's called a crus. It actually is called a crus. Not the crust, a crus. So they call it the helical crus. Helical crus, apparently. Then we have lobule or earlobe. We're gonna go with earlobe. Tragus, is that right? Tragus is right. This is right. I learned this now. So the little ear flappy that comes out, that's called the tragus. Concha. Apparently this dark, so like this is like a deep spot, right? Like a hole almost. This is called the concha. Concha, apparently. Oh, I should use black or something. I'm sorry, I keep using green. Green is a bad color for people to see. Concha. Helical crus. Helix is that. This whole area apparently is the anti-helix. Concha. I think that's everything. Oh yeah, like the helix goes all the way around too. Apparently this is all the helix. Oh, they call it the auricle. This just says it's the helix. I don't know what auricle is, but this just says helix, so. The concha? Oh no. That's apparently the the inner depth part. Kind of where your ear pod, if you had like the headphones, or not headphones, ear pods type thing. The concha is kind of like that inner part that goes into the actual ear hole. Looks really cool with the black and green. We're styling now. But yeah, so those are like the names for everything. But again, in the similar way that the nose was simplified, the ear ends up getting simplified too. So we'll kind of like show that, but oh, and then like drawing it from a side too is it gets tricky when you get like the front view, because this is side view, and then the front view, obviously, when you're like moving, remember the piece of paper kind of or box method that we talked about, like when you move it to the side, it's gonna get a lot more skinny. Probably a bad example, but you remember like what we were talking about with the A and B kind of visualization. Where this is A side. A side versus B side. Everything gets a lot more smushed. So yeah, trying to visualize how that ear kind of turns in three-dimensional space is very useful, because you'll draw like a lot of ears kind of more from the front as well, and not just completely from the side. Quite often it's like the 3/4, so you'll be kind of between these two. Gotta head to work head out for work. Have a good stream and good night. Good night, Oz. Thank you for hanging out with us. Good luck with work. But yeah. So this is how things ends up kind of getting simplified a little bit. So I guess we could just kind of start by practicing. Bugs, thank you for the tip. I appreciate it. It's a funny number. Funny number. How are you doing? Have you been practicing your art? All right. So these are basically the same. Oh, okay. They're just saying like that you can use this as a practice for drawing over top of. So we start, we kind of draw this. I got kind of described. So I've done ear studies in the past, and I kind of, how I was kind of like taught initially too was like kind of imagining almost like a heart, like the top of a heart that gets like longer and then back in, right? That was kind of like how I originally learned the shape, but it's this kind of starting shape. So like you come out at the side a little bit and then come back in, and then you come up for the lobe. It's a weird shape to draw, but yeah, I would say like if you've never drawn ears before, first just start practicing making these shapes. That's where you're gonna want to start. So, oh yeah, here you go. Make the top part of the ear sticks out more compared to the lower part. Use the length of the red line as a guide to draw the outline of the ear. Interesting. Okay, so they're saying like the part that sticks out is kind of like where you start this, I guess. It's kind of like a triangle down here with like another triangle on top. So kind of like something kind of like almost like a kite shape. It's kind of a kite, I guess. Maybe that's a better way of thinking of it. Ear. The ear is just a kite. Like that. It's a kite in the sky. So hopefully maybe that'll help some of you out. I don't know what'll ever make something stick in somebody's brain. But we're drawing kites. Thank you very much for the hydration. Hydrated with my boba. Yeah. So, well, nice work, wolves. So yeah, we wanted to draw this shape to start. And then I've always learned to draw the, wait, I gotta use my words. Tragus? Tragus. The tragus next. So the tragus is this part. So the little lobe part that sticks out, right? I've always been taught to draw that next as like a little bump. I gotta pause. Drawing the little bump next. And then, which I guess they do as well too. I've never drawn like the ear hole part. But I've always been told or taught to draw that next. And then after that, I usually draw the helix. They call it the oracle. On my English diagram, it calls it the helix. You fishing in a puddle? So yeah, my next piece that I usually draw is this part. And that does... okay, so they draw things a little bit differently than kind of how I was taught, and everybody draws ears a little bit different. Again, ears are one of those things that are more complicated, so I feel like artists all kind of draw them a little bit differently. Yeah, so I add in the helix usually next, and then what is it called? The anti-helix. I've always been taught it as kind of like a Y shape, right? So you got like a Y. Something like that. And then, yeah. Oh, I did it wrong, that's why. It goes more like this. There we go. There we go. There you go. There's the Y shape. So you got like a Y here, right? And then you've got like the ear hole, I guess. And then your ear comes back up. And that's kind of like your general shape of an ear. Those are your like basics that you want to include, I guess. So the lobe, you obviously want to show the lobe. You want to show off the lobe. You want the helix. I'm gonna draw the helix. The anti-helix, which is a Y. And then the tragus. I think I remembered. Tragus, right? Your tragus. And that's pretty much all anime people will draw. Are those 1, 2, 3, 4 shapes. Those are like the most common shapes that just get drawn by anime artists. So like, you have your ear, and then I usually just draw again like the helix, tragus, and then my anti-helix. And then usually I'll just draw like the bottom of the helix as well sometimes. And then I usually like, again, I don't like connect the lines a lot. Usually I'll leave it like, again, to the interpretation. Yeah, and that's pretty much like, there's an ear. There's a basic ear. Or like if you're drawing chibi, you can go even simpler. Chibi. Just like a couple of lines. That's about it. So again, it's like simplifications. Whereas like anime, we drop stuff. Chibi, we drop even more stuff. And we make things even simpler. So a lot of times like with chibi, I'll just draw my, the helix into the tragus. And then I'll just add one line for the anti-helix. And then that's like a chibi ear for me. And that's just how I draw them. So it's like kind of, again, like I just did studies on people's ears that I liked the shape of a long time ago. And then I just slowly learned how to do kind of like my own style of drawing what is a very complicated shape. Ears are very, very tricky. So don't give up. It's gonna take a long time to get the basic shapes down and stuff like that, but it's worth it. And you will get there, so you'll for sure get there. Egg shape for the ear, for the chibis. They're very round. I don't know, that's just how I draw them. Chibi. That was a very detailed chibi one, but yeah. So I feel bad because of like, this is one that like I probably won't study as much of, like the eye. I've gone through like eye studies in the past and ear studies in the past to try to streamline, because I found basically I was getting frustrated with like my slowness of my art. And I was like, okay, I always end up taking a long time to draw ears and a long time to draw eyes. So I started taking like just time to just practice drawing them quickly and stuff like that. So I'll give up after my mentally hits 0. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, just try to remember the 4 shapes. Here's the 4 most important shapes. Where should I write it? I guess over here. Most important parts are the helix, the tragus, the lobe, and the antihelix. So those are the most important parts that you're gonna want to try to remember when you draw your ears. So keep those parts in mind. Learn the terminology. Again, I've posted the course workloads, so these diagrams are there for you guys. But I'll post this one as well, so that you have kind of like my versions of it. And yeah, we can practice them. So. With ears, it's important to draw them a lot to get a feel for their shape. Exactly. Exactly, well said. And then practice drawing ears with this week's assignment. So I guess I will practice some ears with this week's assignment, wherever it is. Where is my assignment? Was there no assignment? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna post this picture so that you guys have it. You have my version of ears. before I lose it. My ears. I think I wrote ears. You know, your classic ears. Everybody's got ears. Don't mind the Discord file name. Ears. My ears. There they are. Yeah, so I posted those in the Discord. And let's just do some practice of some ears. All right. Do a little practice. I'm gonna try to keep in mind their mention of having the widest part out here be in line with this. And try to keep that in mind. And then I'm also gonna try to remember. I feel like I always have a habit when I draw ears to draw the tragus too low into the earlobe. So I'm gonna try to work on that too. I think I need to come in a little bit more. That's better. Try to draw it more, a little more realistic. Than what I normally do. I kind of learned a simplified version, so try to make it a little more in depth. I love my yurts. Could never live without them. Yurts. gonna try to shade a little bit for practice. Also, Timothy, thank you for the follow and welcome to the Foxfires. Go now. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Welcome in. How are you doing? So right now, the reason why I was like, I'll try to draw more realistic and whoops, try to shade it because I'm trying to teach my brain right now the different levels of the ear, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to help my head see it more three-dimensional. So that's all I'm doing by trying to add this shading in. Ta-da! Ear. Doing good, just working on some of that stuff. Nice, nice. Get some good work done. Love to hear it. The 3 layers of ear. The ear, the ear, and the eeriest. Thank you, Moonwell. Ear wiggles. Oh, ear twiggles, thank you. Big stretches and save too, thank you. I'll finish the rest of my, well, maybe not finish it, but I finished the last little boba. Have a beautiful stream, LiLi, but I'm at the end of my concentration. No worries, wolves. Have a wonderful May Day. It's a public holiday in Germany. Oh, happy May Day to you too, wolves. And also sweet dreams to you. What's 30 plus 20? The number 50. Also, hello, serious business. Welcome on in. Aw, I knew it was gonna be one of those jokes too. And thank you for the follow. Okay, so we got the ear. Let's try to do one from the side, which is more scary. Confidence oozing. Okay, so for the ear, we're basically gonna wanna shorten this space, right? From here to here. So we're gonna try to, instead of like it being straight across, we're gonna be wanting to angle this, you know, like this. So our shape now is going to be more that this high point now is gonna get moved back and higher, right? Like if this stays in the same spot, it's going to move it this way. So that's what we're kind of going to get for a shape. So kind of did this one smaller. Let me make it a little bit bigger. I'm finishing a monster at 9:50 p.m. You're gonna be ready to go, Nano. You're gonna be raring to go. And then, so again, keeping in our shapes, we're gonna do the tragus. Tragus is gonna be closer. So now the tragus is going to be closer into the ear as well. And your... Come on, Lily, you can remember the name! Helical... I don't remember. Crust! It was the crust! The steam! No, the crust! The pizza crust! The crust is gonna be a little bit thicker. At the front compared to the back. It'll get a little bit more thinner. The helix will be a little bit thinner on the upper top. And then, of course, we still have our anti-helix. Jaw technically is going to cover over, like, I think the lobe a little bit more. I think usually your jaw and the tragus usually line up, right? I did this one so much more sketchy. I apologize. Should be a little more cleaner. So this one's more of a 3/4 than a front. Where's her? Yeah, see, and then that is more of a, whoops. This one is more of a front, so I could try doing the front one as well as practice. Also, Curry Mask, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. How was your stream? Thank you also, GG, for the shout out for Curry Mask. Curry raid. What were you guys up to today? Oh wait, streaming Abzu. What is Abzu? Is it a game? I've actually never heard of that. Yeah, welcome in, raiders. Oh, also, hello, my name is Lily, and today we're doing a little bit of art study, or classes today, so I'm just going through and doing some art review. We are learning noses and ears today. It was a lovely game. What kind of game is it? Underwater swimming game? Ooh, hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Gotta play that game one day? Abzu. I think I'll love it. Oh my gosh, it actually looks gorgeous. Oh, it looks beautiful. Is it just like an exploration type game? The environments look stunning. It looks like it reminds me of Journey. It reminds me of Underwater Journey. The way it just looks very peaceful and like almost looks like quiet, like it would be quiet and just like an exploration type thing. You just swim and vibe. Oh, that is so cool. Curry needs to raid and run, but says she hopes you have a great stream. Of course, no worries. Chat broken and can't type. No worries, Curry. Go take some rest. Take care of yourself off stream. I know how it is. I'm glad you had at least fun playing Abzu. And thank you for trusting me with your community, of course. We're mostly studying today anyways too, so it's a little bit quieter. All right, so that is our 3/4. So let's try to do now a front view. So again, we're going to shrink this distance even more again. Okay, so again, we're doing the crust area into a helix. And then we will do the tragus. The anti-helix. Erase this a little bit. Something like that. This is front. Front 3/4 and side. Oh, oops. my line there a little bit. I'm gonna learn, got some studying to do. No worries, good luck with your studies. Looks wonderful, thank you. All right. And then I'm just gonna do same thing again. Just gonna shade these in a little bit to give myself a better sense of the 3D space of this ear. I'm not liking the ears. It's very hard, Blaze. Ears are very tricky. It is one of the things that artists really don't like drawing. It will take some time. But you'll get there. The more you draw, the easier it gets, I promise. Look at that ear turn. We're getting it. There we go. And then I'm wondering if we should attempt to start some mouths. Let's see. I'm like, do I start mouths or do I just keep practicing? Is there a part, Blaze, actually that you're finding most difficult? I don't know if I could try to give some tips. I would say too, like, don't be afraid to like take from the lesson like this ear shape and just do the blind method with this, right? With the practice sheet. You know? So like get a new piece of, take the ear. We're gonna take this ear, we're gonna steal it. We're gonna put it down on our practice. View from the front got a little lost. I would say, start with just doing the side here. I would say definitely start by getting to know the parts with it at a side view. This is definitely like the easier way to start learning. So I would say start by doing the blind method with this ear. So we take the ear that is here, and then we're gonna make a copy on top. And we're gonna draw our ear, trying to copy their shape blind, but we're looking at the ear for reference, right? So I'm noticing like, okay, it's a little bit more straight here at the bottom, comes up, around. Maybe this part should be a little longer. Right? And then there. Helix part looks like it's about halfway down through the ear. And then we're gonna go around that. This part, the helix Y part comes down to the tragus. That, and then we got the tragus. Should come down. She had a little bump here. Comes up. Ooh, I'm off a little bit. Ah, mine's too low. And a little too large, I think. That little piece. So again, when I'm doing these, I'm like observing like a bunch of different things. Like I'm looking at the distance between here and here, you know, the relationship, and then I look at the relationship between here and here kind of thing. And like I look, oh, like mine is a little bit longer there, right? So you're just like looking at all these relationships of these pieces and stuff together. And all the like different negative spaces and stuff like that. And then you're like, okay, that's pretty close or whatever, right? Like, I'm happy with this. So then what we're gonna do for the blind method is we're gonna make 3 copies. So we're gonna copy that and paste. And first we're gonna put it over top of their image. And then we're going to make another copy. Keep that as our original. And then we're gonna find, I'm just gonna combine those 3 to one layer. And then I'm going to start correcting in red. So first thing I notice is, I think my ear is a little bit more tilted, right? So I'm gonna start writing down what I changed. So, rotated clockwise about 10 degrees or so. An ear from the back, like the character turning around and watching over this shoulder. Very specific question. I mean, basically you're gonna have these same shapes from the back, but you're going to lose the information because there's no ridges and stuff like that. So your ear from the back, I mean, you're gonna have like the back of the head, right? And then you'll just probably have like a little line here where like the ear kind of like connects into your skull, right? And then that's basically the back of an ear. It's really simple. Way simpler an ear from the back than ear from front. Because all you have to do is worry about the base shape. You don't have to worry about all the complicated stuff inside the ear. Yeah, and then first thing I notice is my truss and helix. It's a lot thinner on theirs. So that is a lot thinner. This was not too far off. Not too far off. I think that's pretty much it. So my helix was thinner. Should draw my helixes thinner. And I think just raise my tragus a little bit. So that's what I did for this to make it closer to theirs. So now the next step in the blind method is we're going to make those corrections. On our ear here. Out tracing over top. And the helix part needs to be thinner. Oh, and I forgot to rotate it as well. And then my tragus goes a little higher. I should have technically drawn this in black. But the red still shows, I guess, what I changed. Sips and posture, thank you, Gigi. I just wanted to know. Well, now you know, Coloso. Now you're informed. But yeah. And then it's like, okay, there's my ear that I did better. And then also, there's like my blind method, and then like what you would do then is you would go through this whole process like again. Preferably without looking at it. So you would hide your reference and then you would draw it blind again. And your first drawing blind without the reference is going to be awful. So don't feel bad. Okay, so I'm keeping in mind, I want that skinnier helix, right? So I'm trying to keep in mind my notes that I took. I'll also probably angle that maybe a little bit more. Keeping in mind that thinner helix. And then gosh, I don't remember what their tragus. Remember I wanted it up. And there's that there. And they did like a little bump for this part. Something like that. Oh wait, I remember my helix was a bit thinner too. Needed to be thinner. And then yeah, you're like just kind of like training your muscle memory to slowly learn. I don't know, something like that. Actually, I feel like the tragus is wonky to me. And then just like in doing this, you do slowly the lobe is too needs to be longer. And if you do this like enough times, you just start to memorize like the relationships and ratios of the different things the more times you do it. So then like after you draw it blind again, you bring back the example and you go, oh God, it's awful, but it's okay. And then you're gonna take this again, paste, bring it over, and paste, bring it over, and then you're like, ah, I did so bad. Which I think mine make a little bit smaller in comparison to theirs. The shape, the dynamics, the internal polygons, all of it. And then yeah, you just basically do the exact same thing again where you trace out your corrections. So this part, I made the back of the ear too round. Right? So then I write down what I did wrong again. Back of ear to round. Right? And then my tragus wasn't too bad. Or sorry, not my tragus, my anti-helix was actually pretty good, I'd say. Even this part is really not that bad. It's just the inside, I think I need to make it more like oval. Like that inner helix part. And then My tragus, I did too large. That was about it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Actually, I'm really surprised. The bottom of my lobe, I actually did pretty good. So now let's start just making our corrections. So let's make it a little less round, a little more pointed. More that top of the heart kind of shape. And that part was pretty good. Not too shabby. Ta-da! Not too bad, not too bad. And then basically, you do it again. And you just keep doing that process over and over again. So like, you would turn it off, and then draw blind again. And then just keep practicing over and over and over. And that's basically the blind method. And then you just keep doing that, and you learn, kind of all your space and relationships. So never stop, continue the loop. Basically, that's why I like when people say like art is just running miles and miles and miles of practice and learning that muscle memory. It's like the same thing as like learning a musical instrument, right? Like you learn the muscle memory of where the keys and stuff are. Art is the same way, where you're just going to be like learning the muscle memory and relationships between the shapes. I think one of the hardest things for maybe beginners to get used to as well is learning to relate all the pieces to each other and learning about negative space. So when I'm like drawing these shapes, I guess, right? Like I'm not thinking of I am drawing an ear. Like some people will be like, I'm drawing an eye, you know? And an eye is a circle with eyelashes and stuff like that. I am not thinking about what it is that I am drawing. I'm focused on how the shapes look and how they interact with each other. Like I'm not thinking of drawing an ear. I'm like thinking of drawing this shape, you know? So I start by just drawing that straight shape. And then I look at how much it kind of curves, and I'm trying to imitate how much it curves and how much it goes down. And then I'm looking at like the relationship between this point and like making my point and my point similar, for example, right? And then like when I come down, same idea, where I'm like trying to look at the distance of how far down, and it looks like how far in the middle do things go, right? So that's how I know how far down to go. And then like this, I'm not thinking of it as like, oh, it's a round earlobe. I'm looking at, this is relatively straight here with a bit of a curve, right? It's not like, oh, a round earlobe, you know? So you're like trying to, I think like if you are a beginner, get the notion of like trying to draw what you think shapes are out of your head and trying to look at the relationships of things, and learning negative space is a very, very important takeaway. So like here, you know, like I'm looking, oh, it's like this little space between here is like, if I put a circle in there, is the circle roughly the same shape? Or is like my circle gonna be like if I draw, you know, something that's not right, like if I draw it like this, you know, if I were to put a circle in here and put a circle here, see how like they're different? The negative space is different between my lines. Does that kind of make sense for new people? I hope. So like you want to always be looking, and like I'm constantly like, when I'm looking between the two, my eyes are constantly like, while I'm drawing, darting back and forth between what I have drawn and the lines that I have drawn and what my reference is, right? And I'm just trying to slowly hone in on the shapes. So like, again, I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the negative space in here is a lot smaller in here. So see how my circle is very mushed, right? Versus their circle. Then I'm like, okay, I need to change this middle section to be a little bit more oblong, right? And I'm seeing that like, oh, it was because I wasn't close enough here, right? I should zoom in a little bit too so you guys can see this a little bit better. So like, oh, the space here wasn't as close as this picture, and that's why my circle ended up being a little bit smaller. So like, all I do is lasso and then like adjust it, you know, to fit my needs and make it look closer. Can you do the circles again real quick for the negative space? Yeah. Like on the ear, like I was showing. So like here now, let's do it in like blue, right? If I draw a circle in here and a circle in here, it's the same size, right? Versus like same thing. Colors are gonna be different now. So like I'm looking, I should get one of those like eye trackers and show like how my eyes look when they're drawing. That'd be pretty funny. And where I'm looking at. And then like too, a lot of times when I'm drawing and you get like, I'll do very light lines that might be more scratchy, you know, in trying to find that shape. And then once I'm like, oh yeah, like I like that, I'll go in and follow it and make those lines darker so that they stand out when I'm drawing. So like, don't feel like you have to like always draw in one line. Don't be afraid to like just loosely kind of sketch out a shape. And it's okay like if it's scratchy and stuff, you know? And then once you're like, oh yeah, that's kind of the arc that I want, then you can like start locking in that line or that shape, right? So like if I'm trying to draw a circle, you know, then it's like, okay. Circles are hard, but get the idea of the process, right? You start light and then start darkening those lines that you're happy with. And art a lot of time is about like, when you draw like sketches and stuff like that and lines over top of each other, even though they're not like connected, your brain fills in the space And you just kind of keep layering it. And in the same way that like your brain will connect two lines that aren't together. Like if you drew a bunch of dotted lines, your brain still knows, oh, it's a circle, right? And then a lot of art is just like correcting that filling in space. And getting it closer and closer to the right, quote unquote, right shape. Why are you looking at your character's boobs while drawing the hair? Never. But yeah. Hopefully that'll kind of help some beginners too in just like some general art tips, not necessarily like shape and improvement and anatomy and stuff like that, but just general line and tool control and stuff like that. And like kind of practices that artists do without even realizing, I guess, that they kind of do. And like, you know, making things look like your reference. So, like I said, practicing negative space is a very good practice for sure, so. Don't forget to hit Control Z right after. Lots of Control Zs. Constant Control Zs. Oh, I should show you guys. I found this person on Twitter, and they had a artist PNG tuber, and they had a Control Z counter on it, and I love it so much, and I really want to make one. I would love to get them to make me one, but I think they said that they're only going to be opening a couple slots, so I doubt that I would be able to get in. But let me see if I can find it. I know I saved the post. Yeah, it's this. Okay. I want to show you. It's so cute. Well, somehow I started my lesson. So we won't do mouths today just because we ended out a little later, but I want to show you this. So I think it's so cute. Where is my browser? There it is. Look at this thing! Isn't it cute? So they have it set up so it's got like a pen tracker, and then they have a mouse that's Control Z that they, every time they hit Control Z, it counts. And I'm like, that's so good. It's so cute. It's by Kieran? This person? Kieran Kira is their name. Ah! My lesson keeps starting because of my mouse. It's so good. And then I think in the post they also explain how they kind of made it. Like what's underneath the model and stuff, but it's so good. Yeah, and like the pen tracking is done so well. It's such a good PNG tuber. Or like live, I guess it's still a live 2D model, but it feels like more like a PNG tuber, you know. A little like smack on the button. Look at the button. I love it. But yeah, 583, I feel like that just goes to show artists, we Control Z a lot. Like, a lot. Chicken button. That'd be cute. I just bonked chicken on the head. Little chicken bonks. But, yeah, I super love their model. I really would love to get one made by them. but I know they said that they'd be only opening a couple slots, so I imagine they're probably already full. They've got like, it's got like 3.2k likes on it, so I'd imagine they are probably already filled up with commissions and stuff. But I really, really like that model. And I feel like the Control Z button really hammers home how much artists press that button. I like this like little bump they have at the bottom here. Way too. And like, art is always about too, like constantly making little adjustments too. So even if you like keep like don't be afraid to like pick up the lasso tool, right? And then like hit Control T and like move things around for perspective and stuff like that, or make things bigger, smaller, rotate and stuff. Those are all just like wonderful cheats that digital art lets you do that like traditional art can't do as easily. Like traditional art, you're just gonna have to erase it and then move it. But if you are happy like with the rough shape that it is and stuff like that, you can always just like lasso tool it and then move it where you need it to go and stuff like that too. So don't be afraid. It's like constantly, art is just constantly about making little tiny adjustments everywhere. So nodding off, gonna head to work in 8 hours and have an hour drive into the office tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks for letting me watch the process. Of course, Nano Leaf. Or Nano Leaf, Nano Lather. I don't know where I got Leaf from. Enjoy your sleep, sweet dreams, and good luck with work tomorrow, Nano. Yes, and don't forget Canvas Flip. That is very true. Don't forget Canvas Flips. They are very important. Canvas Flips will basically let you look at your art with like a fresh pair of eyes and see the piece of art how a new person would be looking at it. It gives you like kind of like reminds you to stop looking at every little tiny detail that you're drawing, and instead like lets you kind of take a step back and look at it as a whole as well. So like that. I was like, oh, it's a little bit off here. Move that around. This technically needs to be a little longer. More space. Yeah, and because like, again, these are all sketches, so don't be afraid of making it sketchy and broken apart and stuff like that, because your brain will fill in the details, and like when you go to do like a line art and stuff like that, you'll fill in those messy areas and stuff. So but yeah, that's pretty much it for ears and stuff. So that'll be for this week's practice. Oh, I guess we didn't practice any noses, but you can practice doing some noses on some faces too. I was just doing mostly ears because I think ears are going to be the trickiest part for most people. But noses are, it's a dot. Most of you, I'm sure, can handle a dot. It's remembering the nose bridge when you turn your nose to the side. Remembering the bridge of the nose. So you have your brow and then the actual nose for your eye. Don't forget that bridge exists and your brow bone. And then dot. So again, like you can not have that there. But remembering that it like cuts off part of the eye, right? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for lessons. Connecting the brow bone, drawing your dot from the nose, draw a nostril if you want. And then I think for lessons, I don't think they have anything specific. Yeah, they don't have like anything, I think, for like a worksheet. They just said practice drawing the ears. I think it'd probably be still useful like for the ears if you do end up kind of mastering the shapes and stuff like that, or if you're more advanced and stuff. I think what I'm probably gonna end up practicing is drawing my ears onto head shapes. And you can even start by just like drawing the ball shape and then the ear as well, you know? And just doing like a bunch of those shapes with the ears and just getting used to drawing the different ears in different positions. Like you don't even have to like fully draw the information, or if you want, just do it like simple. You know, just get a little bit of information on there. You don't have to draw them super complicated at the start. But just like, that's kind of like what I'm gonna end up practicing is applying the nose to those shapes on different heads. And noses. Tried to draw like a top down. But yeah. That's probably what I'll end up practicing. So I'd say if you're a beginner, just work on getting the different pieces of the ear down first. If you are more advanced, work on adding those ears to different angles of the head. And I think that'll probably be our homework, basically. Salutes! You're on it, Blaze. You're on it. Hopefully all of you guys, I believe in you. You will be able to get it done. Like I said, ears are a tricky one too. Ears and mouths are like probably the hardest part of drawing the human head. I would say ears. I think ears are probably harder than mouths because anime mouths are also much more simplified as well. When you're drawing like the whole mouth, it's like mouth, nose, and ears are like the harder part. I still think noses is probably the easiest one out of those three. And then between nose and ears, I personally still think the ears are harder. I think everybody will be like a little bit different in what they think. But as an artist, ears are tricky. They just have so many like connecting parts that don't connect, and like depths as well, like high parts and low parts and stuff, so. Ears feel like they forgot to do some simplifying. They're just so complicated looking. And then also there's so many different shapes of ears for different people and stuff too. They have a wide variety. Kind of like eyes. I feel like eyes can really change how a person looks, and I think ears too. I don't think they get enough credit for how different they look too, between like from person to person. They can be very unique. Indeed. But yeah, so I'm just gonna save the work that I did, and I'll post that into the Discord as well. Just my practice for today. So if it helps you guys at all, you're more than welcome to use it. Just unhide it again for a second. And we're gonna go practice page, my work. And we're gonna call this ears. 2024 0430. Of course. I'm happy that the lessons and critiques are helpful to you guys. Like I said, that I enjoy doing this with you guys because I'm doing it anyways to just try to improve my art. So if there's anything that I can do or provide or draw or show and give my I just posted the same thing, give my experience on, and it helps you guys learn in any way, I'm thrilled. Oh, it's because I put it in practice pages. Ears, there we go. Oh wait, I didn't date my work. So this is ears. Ear and nose lesson. And today is 2024 04 30. Here we go. Export it again. Sorry you guys can't see, but I just forgot to date it. Save. Upload. To Discord. We have ears. Window sounds. There you go. I have posted my work from today into the Discord as well. And the lessons, pages and worksheets should be up for you guys to practice too. And I believe the mouth practice is also up there as well. So if you want to get a head start in learning for next week, because next week is going to be a bit of a tricky one, feel free to take a look at it too. But ears are hard too. I forgot that the nose lesson encompassed ears, because I was thinking, oh, maybe we'll get to mouths, but I forgot ears are complicated. That's probably why Isham combined noses and ears together, since noses are super simple and ears are a little bit more complicated. And then mouths are also a little bit more of that complex thing, so it gave a full lesson to mouths on their own. So help check for the ears. Thank you. And also thank you for the stream, of course. Thanks for hanging out. I'm out of bubble tea. I need to hydrate with water. Are you ready, Fox? Are you gonna be doing some more ear studies? Ears and nose study? All right, so I got that saved. I think I can close these. Oh, I can export this too. Here, I'll just screenshot it. Well, I'll export it properly. I have to somehow one up or beat my last art piece. I'm scared. You can do it. I believe in you. Export. So my ear thing will be, call them LiLi Terms ear, because their ear is a little bit different for naming and stuff that I use today. So I'll upload my ear names too. Screenshots, LiLi Terms ear. There we go. There we go, there we go. Cool. So there we go. All those sheets are uploaded to the Discord. And that is pretty much it. Yes, I did save that one. Cool. Save. Close. 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 We did it! We made it through! So yeah, we finished up, I guess, a little bit earlier today. Probably because, like, the eye review was pretty quick. Review on my eyes, since I kind of have a handle, I feel like, on the eye shape, so it did go a little bit faster. Also a go for Blaze with a, where's my purse? There they are. Nya nya, nya nya for Blaze. And, yeah, so let's find somebody to raid. We got some artists online tonight. Keep up the art train. Kankan's on. Sun is on too.
RBC is off.
Well, ads. Lusan also does some beautiful stuff too. I don't think I've gone to raid them much. What are they doing today? I know, Khan is on. I always raid Khan. Khan's my staple. But should we go see new people? Oh, they're drawing chibis and they're so cute. Oh, I think Lusan is raiding. Because I see a wheel up right now and it says Khan on it. So let's go raid. It looks like they're raiding somebody right now. So we'll go raid Kankan then instead. Yeah, meet new people. Who does that? I'm still gonna give Lusan a shout out right now. They're a very stunning artist. So I'll give them a shout out even though they're just finishing up. If you want to check out a beautiful artist, you can also check out Lusan. But I see them, like, they had a wheel up spinning and it had Kankan's name on it. So I was like, oh, they might be like just finishing up their stream is my guess. And they were trying to guess or pick who they wanted to raid. I can't hear it, but that was my assumption. Because I know they raid Kankan sometimes. I'm pretty sure how I learned. Oh, you have a suggestion, Turtle. Who's your suggestion? Julie the Doodler. Do I know that one? I remember us rating a doodler named Julie before. I wonder if it's the same person. Because we have rated them before. They have like the really cool scenes, right? Let me check. But I follow them, so wouldn't they be on my list? Hold on. Unless my Twitch is just broken. But let me see. I'll still give them a check out. We'll probably still go to con. Oh no, this is a different person. Ah, they have cute stuff. They're doing like IRL stuff. No, this person is different. Traditional. Oh, super cute. All right, we'll go give this Julie person some love. I love it. I love seeing traditional artists on Twitch. It definitely sways me. We'll go give this Julie person some love. They seem super sweet. Hi, Shikun! Thank you for gifting us up to Kankan. Kankan, welcome to the Demon Army, even though I know you're streaming and you're not here. Thank you, Ishikun. I appreciate it. Then let's go over. So I did want to raid somebody like newer anyways. We'll go give Julie the Doodler some good lovin'. Wizard, Foxfire, we'll do Foxfire raid. Perfect. Thank you, Turtle. Just a classic Foxfire raid because it is somebody new. We're gonna be polite and introduce our Foxfire community. So sounds good. Get that raid message up. And if you don't have my emotes but you still want to follow along with everybody, we have our Foxfire raid with the Fox and Flame emotes there. Otherwise, if you have my emotes, feel free to use Turtle's message that Turtle has created for us. So yeah, good luck with the homework, Foxfires. You can do it. Keep up the practice and good work. You're learning little bit by bit every day. You're getting a little bit better. And tomorrow we're watching Freerun in the Discord. There's the Discord link. Thank you, Blaze, there. So if you want to join us, we're still at the beginning of the anime. We're on episodes 3, 4, and 5. And on Thursday, we might either work on something for cosplay or do a game or something like that. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing some more Lightyear Frontier. I got there. All right. Thank you again, Foxfires. I'll see you next time. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone it is for you. I hope it's a good one. And if you are off to bed, then sweetest of dreams to you. And if you're just waking up or you're looking for a suggestion, let's go check out this new person named Julie.